Joe Mixon. It's a really curious case, and it's almost similar to Josh Jacobs in that he is seemingly perpetually under-targeted, consistently overhyped at draft season. Maybe not necessarily overhyped because I think there is some good process in there, but I think like his hype is better than the production that we see. That's for damn sure. We definitely like the wide receivers in that Zach Taylor offense, especially with Joe Burrow. Hopefully he can make a clean recovery from that nasty injury because we love seeing him and he looked like a stud. But what about the other Joe, Graham? Do you think Joe Mixon is also capped by his situation, or do you think there's a little bit of room for that to evolve in his favor?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, we only got 6 games out of Mixon this year. The first couple, we just saw him in the same role where he was getting, his normal 16, 17, 18, 19 carries. Then in weeks 4 and 5, they finally started using him on like every single passing down snap. He became like a true bell cow where he was getting, 75, 80% of the carries. Yeah. And then he played the Colts and he got hurt. And then the Bengals lied about the injury all year long and said, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious. And we never see him again. I honestly don't have a strong Mixon take because I'm with you. I think last year I ended up not drafting him as much as I thought I would. He was going in the back end of the first round. And at that point, I was either taking Miles Sanders, Devontae Adams. Those were my 2 guys at the back end of the first round. So I really didn't end up with a lot of Mixon. I think this year we'll finally see him come down in cost. And I haven't done any, drafts for 2021 or anything like that, but I think we'll probably see him come in at like the late second round-ish range, hopefully, with a couple of these receivers going ahead of him. And I think at that point, Mixon's going to be a buy. We'll have to see what Joe Burrow's rehab is like and what his timetable looks like. But I think Mixon is going to be a pretty strong buy, both in season long and in dynasty, because he's going to have a full off season to recover. Obviously the Bengals went full tank mode again this year. Yeah. I think Mixon is going to be a pretty strong buy. And, when he came out, he was really young. I mean, the dude is only 24 years old. He's only gonna be 25 in July. Like he's still got 2 to 3 years of potential, ceiling like production. So I'm excited to see where Mixon comes in at, because I think I might be really overweight on him in 2021 drafts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, Ty, you can attest to the fact that was music to my ears, talking by Joe Mixon.
But he is the poster boy of yards created. I wasn't expecting a much answer, to be honest. But I just, to Graham's credit, like that's somebody who you really went to bat for when it was very, like, it's easy to forget how there was a lot of other names that were being bantied about alongside of Joe Mixon. And it's not like Joe Mixon isn't a borderline elite running back, even for fantasy. It's just, we just want that next step. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Come on, Zach Taylor. Come on.
Well, thinking of that scheme, it gets me down another yards created rabbit hole. Like, that's why I love yards created. It's super specific, which is super helpful. Like, Graham, you break down the numbers for these running backs in so many different actionable ways. So it shows, for instance, how a running back does on inside versus off tackle runs, like I referenced with Derrick Henry, and things like that kind of specificity is super helpful for fantasy purposes, identifying a scheme fit for a rookie running back. Once a running back lands in an offense, yards created will have data on how that running back did in a certain scheme or alignment. And that brings me home to Joe Mixon here, because yards created can show us how a running back did running out a shotgun or running out, for example, and, that's, first of all, data we want more and more in today's NFL. But Joe Mixon has a little bit underperformed because he was better than Saquon, better than Zeke out of shotgun. And Joe Mixon's Bengals ran 76% of their plays from shotgun this year. So hopefully he can, because my whole point, Trav, you can attest to, is that he's getting these 1,100-yard rushing seasons. He's getting these 220-yard carry seasons. He just needs that pass catching, and it's all in relation to his ADP. So if his ADP falls, then definitely, like Graham's saying, we can all be overweight on him, because we know that pass catching is always in his range of outcomes. I think it goes back to what Graham said when he was talking there about Mixon, is that we did see Zach Taylor finally, weaponize him in those last couple games before we unceremoniously lost him for the rest of the season. So there's so much upside there. We just need the cost to come down so we can harness that upside.
And so we can get a little bit of profit out of the price that we're going to pay for him, right? Because like we really were just breaking even on cost with Joe Mixon. And yeah, like you said, Ty, if we can add some of that Gio Bernard pass catching work on top of those 1,100 yard seasons for Mixon, maybe a little bit more efficiency on that high carry total or whatever. But I'm in still. And speak for yourselves, guys, because I'm already overweight on Joe Mixon. I don't know if I can handle anymore.
He's finally slipping. Like you can finally get him at a palatable cost in Dynasty. So I'm definitely
trades for sure too. Like
I'm definitely going to try to be buying. Yeah.